Hello YouTube. This is Baylor Mage again, and we're coming at you with a new build. Now, this is not a build guide. Very specifically, this is not a build guide. This build has had one single day in maps. Surprisingly, it's already level 84. It is blasting maps, and it's pretty goddamn tanky. We do have some single target problems, we'll get into that. But for the specifics, what this build is working around is a pair of boots called Corpse Wade Iron Greaves. They give you a skill called Decompose. Decompose at the current level one I'm using, this gets higher, but the current level one I'm using poisons enemies as though dealing chaos damage equal to 37% of the corpse's maximum life. That is a humongous number. That is a disgustingly large number. This means we get basically full screen prolif of very, very juicy poisons happening all the time. And we're extending that by having poison prolif ourselves. And we're a pathfinder, so my single target right now is poison concoction. I'm not sold on that yet. But the idea of this build should be, in theory, nice, fast, clear speed, very cheap to run, blast maps, be able to fit quantity into our build and not have to pay any attention to living. I want to be able to just walk through tanking everything. What this build will not do is really, really good boss damage. You will never be taking this build, at least the way I build it, into a pinnacle encounter. You will never be unlocking boss passive points things with this build. What I'm hoping to do is get enough single target that I can run maps with map bosses in it. Right now I'm struggling with that. Before anyone jumps into the comments, I know how to get more damage out of poison concoction. It's a widow hail and a quiver. I specifically don't want to do that because it takes away a large chunk of our defenses. This build will be block capped with 75 or so % evasion, CI with around about 5,000 energy shield that overflows to 10. The whole idea of this is between block and evasion and all the energy shield we've got, that we just become almost unkillable in maps. The plan for this build is that it is just a mapper and that it will just clear absolutely everything in every direction with very little input from the player. Now, that means I'll have to make a separate build to do bosses on. That's absolutely fine. I'm 100% on board with that. This is a mapper exclusive character, how I'm building it right now. That being said, let's jump in game and we'll have a look at it. Now, currently I'm at 4.4k basically energy shield, and we have made it to level 84. You can see I've got these two skeletons walking around with me. Those are not important at all. They do basically nothing. They're worthless. Don't worry about it. However, there are some things. If we don't want to go quiver, there is no weapon for this build. The best one-handed weapon I could possibly put on for poison concoction, which is very cool, by the way, now that it's been buffed. The best weapon I could possibly put on would be a wand with % increased chaos damage. That one roll and that one roll only. It is not a spell. I can't get plus levels. You can't get extra as chaos on the same wand. There's nothing I could do about having a good weapon. One single damage roll on a weapon didn't feel worth it. So we got a rattling scepter. It didn't matter what kind of scepter, but we managed to get a scepter with, all I was looking for was the most amount of spirit I could get, and then just strength and int, because stat requirements are a little bit hard to run. Both dex gems and int gear and int gems was a little bit hard. So we were just after stats and a bunch of spirit. This has given me 355 spirit to play with, which means on this build, I get to run a double blasphemy, despair, and temp chains with heightened curse. I actually tested out hex plume to see if that would work. It did not. Don't know what I'm going to put in this last slot yet. I get to run withering presence, so I just automatically wither everything nearby. I get to run Herald of Plague, which is not important, but it does spread poison slightly further than the Pathfinder node. So for now, I haven't taken the Pathfinder node for it. It's just slightly better. I get Alchemist Boon for more flask charge generation. I get Ghost Dance so that I have the Ghost Dances and I can regenerate energy shield that way. I also get Grim Feast, so I get the overflow, and I still have 30 spirit left. So there's a lot I can do with spirit here. I'm not sold on any of these. I want to make it real clear. This is like a day one iteration of this build. The clear, as you saw, was absolutely mental. However, I did take this to begin with, and I did need it. I don't think I need this anymore. So again, not a build guide, just like a concept, right? I don't think I need this anymore. I'm probably going to, when I can Uber Ascend, I'm probably going to respec out of that and head up to the double number of poisons. So I think that'll give me much more damage. So we've come out projectile side instead of movement speed because I was short on projectile damage. But you can see we take all the poison nodes and also all the block nodes. So there's 2 good block wheels right here, which is quite interesting because there's no evasion energy shield block. So I'm actually using my armor energy shield block chest, shield even. But block nodes, stat nodes, evasion nodes, poison nodes, energy shield nodes, chaos nodes up here, more poison nodes. But this is real important, and I think this will go for any build that's in this area. I think if you can manage to stretch up to CI, almost every build that's in this area should probably be CI. There is actually no downside to CI. It is so easy to get 4,000 or 5,000 energy shield. And life recovery from flasks applies to energy shield with no downside, and then become immune to chaos. So much of the dangerous stuff is chaos. My life flask still works on my energy shield. I'm now completely immune to chaos with double the life pool that anyone else has with a tree in this area. I think if I can be here and here, I'm pretty much going to be a CI build on anything that's in this corner. It's just a little bit too strong because the advantage of having a life build is usually that you can use a life flask. If I can use a life flask anyway, being immune to chaos is like, what, 3 or 4 affixes on gear that I don't need anymore. It's 15 free stats from the campaign, and you're just immune to all the purple stuff that's everywhere. So that's also fantastic. For now, we just got a decent-ish energy shield helmet, a nice hybrid chest, a decent-ish amulet with some plus projectile skills. The one thing I am not happy with yet is our poison concoction damage. To be able to do proper single target damage, just enough to kill map bosses, this isn't cutting it. Now, I know we could do like a weapon swap into a bow, we could do something like that. I'm trying to avoid that. What I really want to do is keep my shield on. So right now I will have a little bit of investment into block still. I'm only at 60% chance to block, but I am at 60% chance to block and 65% chance to evade right now. So those two together means I am just incredibly tanky. To be honest, I've been blasting through tier 15s and 14 maps as I have them. That's absolutely fine. Biggest problem is just single target damage. So I'm going to try my best to deal with that. I am not putting this out as a build guide. There will not be a Mobalytics link. I am very, very open to any other suggestions on what to use. I am not 100% locked into poison concoction. The only thing I'm trying to avoid is I do not want to use a bow and quiver. I really do want to try and keep my 200 extra spirit. I really do want to try and keep my 60, which will eventually be 75% chance to block. The idea of this build is clear all maps at speed with ease without ever having to worry about dying or dodge things, or we're trying to make it as Pepega proof as possible. I do not need boss damage. I just need enough for a map boss. So, any suggestions? Great, I will look at everything. Otherwise, this is the theory, and this is what we're going to be working on for the next few days. There could be massive changes to this. The only thing that I know for sure won't change is we're definitely staying CI, and we are definitely wearing these boots. For anybody wondering about these boots, which are disgusting, the explosion portion is actually garbage. It does no damage, so we don't want to explode it. We actually actively want the poison cloud to exist, not the explosion. And for anyone looking to level with these boots on, the level 4 decompose skill is like 31% of the corpse's maximum life instead of 37. It's so good to level with that even when I'm not scaling it, these might end up being just go-to leveling boots for every build in existence. If you can kill one target, everything on the screen just dies. So you need no investment in these at all to level with them, and you could use them to level any character in existence. If there is a character that's like, oh, this is going to be a struggle to level for a while, you can put on the level 4 version of this at level 11. So grant skill level 4 decompose, put that on at level 11 on any character, and as long as you can kill one mob, it will just prolife and kill everything. So amazing leveling tech. Only downside, 10% movement speed, but we can live with that. Anyway, no mobilytics. This is just me catching people up on where I am. We're going to be struggling with this for the next day or two to try and figure out how to make it kill a boss. And if I can just make it kill map bosses at a reasonably good speed, I'm going to be excitedly happy. Very, very happy with it. I never plan to kill pinnacle bosses with this build anyway. So yeah, there's that. That's what I'm doing. I hope everybody's having fun, and I will see everybody next time. Goodbye.